All right, Smell Good family, before we get started with today's video, I am super nervous, curious about this fragrance that we're going to be talking about today. This is another episode of What's in the Bag, and got a sample of one of the latest Creed fragrances that is set to release or has already been recently released. But I'm very curious. I don't know where this brand is heading compared to what we've been getting. Classic, iconic brand. Can't say enough about the brand. But I haven't heard anything about this. I don't know anything about this. And I'm very, very curious to see what we have here today. All right. So welcome back to yet another What's in the Bag. And let's see what the House of Creed is talking about. All right, let's get to it. YouTube, what's going on, YouTube? What is going on? What is happening, man? Of course, it's your guy one more time, DEDRICKHICKSJR, and I'm back with another fragrance video. Smell Good family. Hopefully everyone is doing well, doing great, doing fantastic. And as always, man, it's positive energy, it's positive vibes, and most importantly, it is positive vibes only. All right, so super excited and a little bit nervous at the same time with today's video. Welcome back to another episode of What's in the Bag. And today we're going to be discussing the brand new fragrance from the House of Creed, and I believe it is titled Oud Zarian. Oud Zarian. And here's my sample here. Came in a nice carded sample right here. This is the carded sample. And of course, I gotta, give a big shout out to my dearest friend, Miss Heather, for taking care of me and making sure that I was able to get a sample of this fragrance. So if you're in Jacksonville at the local town center, at the Dillards, go holler at Miss Heather. She's running the Creed counter there, but she can hook you up on any fragrance that is in Dillards. She's a wonderful, wonderful person. It's a great experience getting to talk fragrances with Heather, so go tap in with her for sure if you're in the Jacksonville area. All right, so let's get to it. All right, I'm excited about this because of one thing and one thing only, and that is the word oud. I love oud. I'm a huge fan of oud. I have a lot of oud fragrances. And let's see what we got going here. So I'm not gonna say I got high expectations, but I guess high hopes. And sometimes I could either end great or not so great. All right, so let's go ahead and tap in, get a couple sprays on my left hand here. Got 2 sprays on my hand, get a couple sprays in the air so we can get something going. Okay, in the air, okay. Punch in the face for sure of this kind of heavy wood, spice, a little bit of sweetness in the air. In the air, it smells good to me. Smells good to me in the air. But there is this sweetness that's kind of popping its head out a bit here. Definitely getting a very heavy wood. I wouldn't say necessarily oudy in the air, but let's see what we get on skin. That's going to be the, the true test, I guess. Ooh, Lord. Okay. Ooh, goodness. Spicy, woody. Ooh. There's a little bit of some type of faint sweetness there, but man, I am interested. I am intrigued. I am interested for sure. Does it put me along the mindset of something that I've smelled before? Yes, it does. Is it like a one-to-one to anything coming to mind? No, it's not, but it definitely is reminding me of some profiles. Really from the I just was smelling my fragrances and put my nose on the Blue Beast and watch Interlude. I ain't saying it smells like that, but kind of like that incensey, oudy, smoky from the Blue Beast. Man, okay. So, am I happy thus far? Yeah, I am. I'm happy. Is it something that is blowing me away? I'm not gonna say it's blowing me away, but it's definitely holding my attention right now for sure. Masculine profile, no doubt about it, but I can't help but, talk about this kind of underlying sweetness that is present here. I haven't looked at the notes, Haven't seen any content on this. I've stayed away from it because I've had this sample for a couple of weeks now. I do like this. The oud is starting to kind of calm down, like minute by minute, second by second, starting to get like calm down from that kind of really pungent, punchy opening in the beginning that really caught my attention. It definitely awakened my senses to be real, because I was really kind of caught off guard. I wasn't expecting that per se. But I do like the direction of this. I do. Now, I know retail of this fragrance is like $600 or something like that. So it's a steep bill for sure. Yeah, it's nice. It's a nice fragrance that I would definitely wear in the fall and the winter time. Very masculine, dressed up for sure. You're talking about, you know, the masculine man for sure. You're talking about date nights. You're talking about business. You know, dressing up for your business, presentations, black tie fair, cigar lounge, night out with the boys or your lady. Definitely grown up vibes here. Yeah, like I was just smelling my fragrance and Interlude Man, I think that's what it's called, the Blue Beast. I've been calling it for so long I forgot the original name of it, but Amouage is the Blue Beast. Not necessarily getting no iris or anything here, I don't think. But oud, a little bit of an underlying sweetness, a little bit of a spice, smoky nature here. Huh. Let's go to the notes of this interesting fragrance from the House of Creed. And like I said, you know, Creed is one that is the conversation of the house has been all over the place, honestly, and I understand it. But it's a classic brand. It's a classic house, and it just warrants attention. It deserves the attention that it gets. So let's see what we get here. All right, here we go. So, okay. According to Parfumo.com, top notes: bergamot, frankincense, ginger, and spicy notes. I get it. In the heart, rose. In the base, licorice root, myrrh, oud, patchouli, sandalwood, and tonka bean. So that underlying sweetness is definitely what that tonka bean is providing for sure. The smoky, woody, oudy natures, check. Not really surprised to see the patchouli note there. I guess the ginger is not something that's standing out, but it's definitely adding to the spice. Almost at this point now getting this kind of oriental type vibe to it. The rose is starting to kind of pop, because I didn't get it initially. Initially, it was heavy woods and ouds and spices. Didn't really get the rose in the immediate, but now I'm starting to kind of get this fresh, this freshness, this blast of freshness from this rose. Not coming off like a jammy rose, but it's definitely entering the building. It's very distinctive off my skin right now. Yes. So spices, woods, a little bit of smoky, oud, rose. I think this is nice. I think this is nice. I wonder what the conversation is, and I'll find out after I record this video, because there are some people who have reviewed it. My guy Ross has reviewed it. Kuba has reviewed it. So I'll go look at their reviews now that I've done mine and just kind of see what's being said in the comments. I have discussed with Miss Heather about some of the conversation that she's gotten about this fragrance, and she's saying it's not one that people are being, you know, that they're warming up to. And now I see why. This is not your everyday fragrance. It's not clean, it's not fresh, it's not blue. It's definitely for a set nose or a set individual, like, for sure. But I think this is good. Rating it out the chute, I give it a very nice 7.98 out of 10. For me, this is my speed. I'm wearing this to the office. I'm wearing this really on a day-to-day cooler day. I'm putting this on because I'm a fan of oud. I'm a fan of the spicier profile. So this is my speed. Is it the greatest thing that I've ever smelled? No, it's not. But I will say that tonka is really just kind of floating around very nicely. So the tonka and the rose and the oud here are really starting to kind of stand out. And I've only been wearing this fragrance for maybe 3 or 4 minutes. And as it starts to kind of really settle down, the oud has really toned down from the initial opening. And I can see how that could scare a lot of people away. But the rose and the tonka are marrying each other very nicely here. Like, it's very nice. And you get like a zing of like smoke and spice, like a zing, like a sprinkle of like smoke and spice, accompanied by the tonka and the rose and the oud that are really standing out. Patchouli is definitely underlined. This is blended very nicely. It's blended very nicely. I would like to think that this is going to be a very solid performer for the cooler months. I would like to think that it's not going to be one that is shy. And this is just with a couple sprays from this this little, I guess it's like a 2 ml maybe, or I don't know, 2 or 3 ml that I got right here. And it's really good. It's really good to me. It's really good to me. Something that I would wear for sure. Now, am I going to pay the $600 price tag? No, I am not. But if it continues to move me after I wear this sample, continue to test this sample, hey, I don't know, once it pops up on discounters at a decent price, quite possibly. Like I said, I do have things that remind me of this, and as it starts to dry down, that interlude black iris, the blue beast is starting to kind of leave my mind. And honestly, like, another fragrance is starting to come to mind with the rose and tonka bean type of vibe. But I think it's nice. I even think women could wear this. I think if a confident woman that was stepping out into the world on a night out and dressed up, leather, boots, and just really feeling herself and not lacking in confidence, could definitely pull this off. My sister Shoshana, she probably really interested in this, like, for sure. Because she's a fan of oud and kind of like those kind of smokier profiles. And there's not a lot of women that are into that, but she is. So I'm curious what she would think about this for sure. But yeah, rose, tonka, a little zing of spice. That oud is continuing to taper itself. And it's good to me. It's good to, like I said, it's not like a game changer. It's not out of this world. But it definitely a very solid 8.0 out of 10. 8.0 out of 10. That's what I'm going to give it. Is it worth the $600 price tag? That's for you to determine if it's worth $600 or not. And for me, I wouldn't pay $600 for this. So I'm definitely going to have to catch it on the fly. But I'm not even sure I'm going to add this to my collection. But just judging the fragrance on its own, in my experience, I think it's good. I think it's 8 out of 10. I think it's a nice direction for Creed to go into, because this is kind of out of the norm for them. They usually go fresh and clean and gentleman-like, even though they do have a ladies line. But fresh, clean, and gentleman-like is usually the direction that they're going. You're talking Aventis, you're talking original, vetiver, you're talking Millesime Imperial, you're talking Erofa, you're talking Tambourine Millesime. Like, you're talking about, that's what you're getting. And this is kind of in a different direction. I guess it falls under the other, what it was, Centaurus, and I forgot the other one, the purple and the orange bottles. I guess it's kind of following in that direction. But I will say the opening is very challenging and very intense. But it definitely tones down as the wearing continues. But I like it. From the House of Creed, we have the new Oud Zarian. I think it's called Oud Zarian. This is my sample from the great Miss Heather. And I think it's solid. I think it's a solid release. Solid release. Very expensive. And the value of it is totally up to you. So how many of you have smelled the new Creed, the Oud Zarian? What do you think? Have you went to your local department store? Have you got a sample? Did you buy a bottle? What are you thinking when it comes to the brand new release from the House of Creed? I think it's a solid release. 8 out of 10. My speed. I'm a lover of oud, rose, and spices. That tonka's really flirting really well. Like I said, marrying well to the rose and the oud. Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's good. And for me, this would be a daily fragrance for like the cooler months. I would wear this in many situations for sure. But it's drying down really nicely. I think it's good. I can't wait to see the commentary. I can't wait to see the commentary and the conversation about what this fragrance is all about. I would like to think, without knowing it, that it is a very maybe polarizing conversation that is going on about this particular fragrance, but I don't know. Could be wrong. We'll see. All right, so that'll do it. All right, so another episode of What's in the Bag wrapped up. Good release from Creed. We'll see how it does and see how the conversation trends. But get your nose on it and see for yourself. Don't take my word for it or anybody else's. Go out, smell it, see for yourself. All right. Appreciate y'all for watching. Thank y'all for everything. Thank y'all for the support. I do not take it for granted at all. Appreciate y'all, man. So my boys are up and running rampant. We getting ready to go see what all the fuss is about. All right. So until next time, be cool, be safe, take care of yourselves. Positive energy, positive vibes, splack it up, splack it down, splack it that thing all around. And remember, what you put out into this world is exactly what you are going to get back. That's for sure, man. That's for sure. Peace. Till next time, of course, splacker.